Hey, so we were asked to respond to the question, can black people be racist? Um, and it's a really good question. I think a lot of folks get asked. So for me, what I found in my time being an organizer here in the Bay Area is that a lot of folks don't um, understand what racism is or what it means to be a racist. For me, I've defined racism and I've been trained that racism is both. It's almost an equation. It's race prejudice, the idea that you have a preference for a particular race or the idea of race. Um, but then the other piece of the equation is that there has to be power, and in this sense, legitimate power, meaning power that is reinforced within systems and society. Um, and I do think that it's important that both are um, combined to truly have an understanding of what racism is. Um, so, in the sense, by that definition, by the way I've been trained to look at it, the way I've lived it, it is not possible, in my opinion, for black folks to be racist. Black folks have legitimately lacked power within any institution, any system in society. In addition to a lack of power, um, the idea of race prejudice um, is not a universal um, concept within the definition of who we consider to be black or who considers themselves to be black. I think it's important to know how we have seen racism and where we have seen racist show up. People typically think racists are the Ku Klux Klan or the far right. When there's a lot of evidence coming out and a lot of unveiling by black folks, Latino folks, Asian American folks, um, Arabic folks, that it's the microaggressions of the daily living that really have an impact on how people feel racism. And it's the daily living that's not someone who's outright yelling, I hate black people. It's the covert race prejudice that has been permeated throughout society that truly does eat at you um, and it's everyday folks, right? It's not the outlandish acts, it's the minutia, the normalized acts that make racism real and concrete and hard for black folks. And to say that black folks then inherently can be racist um, is really hard because there's not a power um, that black folks have in being able to um, exert race prejudice in a society where it is clear that there are systems that can exert race prejudice against black folks with legitimate power, with legitimate authority. That makes it a very real challenge